Hello and welcome to our webinar, What's New in EMX? Some may know that the user event couldn't take place this year, and we hope to give you at least a short overview at the latest functionalities. Before we really get started, I will briefly introduce Thomas and me. Thomas Schneier is main developer for EMX, and together with me, Sascha Möller, we implement a lot of new features around EMX. Thomas is a speaker and I'm the organizer of the webinar. Still to the process. Just in case you want to see a sequence again, our webinar will be recorded and published on our YouTube channel. In this webinar, Thomas will show you a presentation part and a live demonstration directly in Creo for each topic. You have the possibility to ask questions via the webinar software. During our QA session, Thomas will answer the question. If we have not enough time to answer all questions, we will contact you later. So let us start. What did you prepare for us, Thomas?
Thank you, Sascha. So first of all, I would give you a short overview about today's topics, and I will quickly introduce again the version scheme that we use in EMX, because I will also want to explain you how we handle everything what's new and how we provide the information to you. And I think it's kind of important to understand this version scheme first. And to not only talk about theoretic stuff, I would like to show you also a couple of new features that we implemented during the last year or so. I will first start with the new hydraulic and pneumatic components. After that, I will talk about the new automatic chamfer creation, which is a quite nice feature. I will go ahead and explain you how you can manage your customer numbers that you might have within your company within the configuration. After that, I will talk about how you can put UDFs into the EMX library. And finally, I would like to focus again a little bit to our EMX tutorial that we provide to all of our customers. And I will explain how this tutorial can be downloaded and used. Okay, so first of all, for you as an understanding, so our version scheme, currently we have 3 EMX versions still in maintenance, which is EMX 10 for Creo 4, EMX 12 for Creo 6, and EMX 13 for Creo 7. For our direct B&W customers, we have some kind of a backward compatibility, at least for version EMX 12 and for version 10. For EMX 13, we don't have any backward compatibility simply because in Creo 7 the new multi-body features were introduced, and that it's simply not possible to give a backward compatibility with these new features. EMX 10 still uses this old version scheme, MO40 and so on, and EMX 12 and 13 already use the new version scheme with the 3 digits at the end. Generally can be said, in case we release a version through PTC, you will always find a 0 at the end of these version strings, like displayed here in the examples. And in case we have a B&W release, you will always have a running number at the end. So like here, 41, 42, 2.6, and so on. So you can recognize these difference in the final number. Through PTC, we release 1 or 2 versions during the year. And for B&W customers, we additionally send out 3 to 4 releases that can be downloaded from our download server. And what is kind of interesting and new is that we enhanced our product calendar. And I will simply open this product calendar in Firefox that you can have a look to this one. You will find this product calendar on our website, and it's now similar to the PTC product calendar, so you can see this all compatibilities and the released versions and the dates in this matrix for all of our products. And if you look to EMX, for example, you will see here this backward compatibility. So these compatibilities always refer to the B&W licenses. And you will also find in case a version is already out of maintenance, like EMX 11, but we are really stuck to the Creo release. In case Creo still supports or is under maintenance, like Creo 4, we will also release new versions of this product. So this is always a nice reference if you need any information about the releases. Okay, so for some time already, we release what's new PDF for each release, simply because we want to quickly give you an input on what's new and what kind of features might be interesting for you. So it's easy consumable. It's just a couple of pictures and a short description. And you will always find this information on our homepage as well. So you can, so this is the German website, but we can switch to the English release. And here under news, you will always find new releases of our versions. For example, here, Expert Moldbase Extension. There's usually a link for the PDF, like this one. And also, in case you need more detailed information, there is a full changelog available, and you will see all the changes related to the release number. Okay, so enough for with this theoretical part, and now I would like to pick a couple of features that I would like to present you today. And yeah, let's start with the first thing that we implemented. So we introduced hydraulic and pneumatic components. These components work similar to the cooling components that are available in EMX for since forever. And yeah, what's the idea behind that? So in the past, a couple of customers, they simply added hydraulic and pneumatic components to their custom cooling components folder, and then they simply created an additional cooling circuit with hydraulic components. But there are a couple of problems in case you want to use the functionality where you can clean up an existing mold base. So you would like to copy an existing mold base and use this as the new as a template for a new project. And there might be a situation where you want to delete all of these cooling components because you need a different cooling system, and you could use the functionality to clean all the cooling components. And yeah, in case you also had hydraulic and pneumatic circuits and you don't want to delete them and you use this delete all cooling components function, then everything would be gone. And that's the reason why we now introduced the new types of components. And now you can really create independent cooling hydraulic and pneumatic circuits, and they are also handled like individual components. And that's quite nice because then you can also create a circuit model which has which only has the hydraulic circuits in there. I will show you I think this functionality in a quick demonstration. So I will switch to Creo and select this working directory. I used our tutorial assembly to demonstrate this functionality. So here I just created a couple of circuits, pneumatic circuit, cooling circuit, and a hydraulic circuit. And yeah, the new function, the new features are available here under fluid components. And now you have the chance to extract these cooling circuits with this show waterline feature. And you see here is now a difference. You can say, okay, I would like to include all cooling components, all hydraulic and all pneumatic circuits, and you can do it separately. And in this example, I would just use this. I will add all of these 3 types to my exported model and say create fluid circuits model. And then this model is created. And now you see here these different circuits, and you can set up different colors also now for hydraulic and pneumatic for these different circuits. You can set up individual colors as well. Okay, so I will close this and delete this again. Okay, now I would like to show you how you can delete only, for example, all of the hydraulic components. In the past, we had this delete the entire waterline feature. And yeah, a couple of customers said, hey, can you please also create a functionality for guide components or for screw components? And yeah, we decided then that we will not add for each type of component a new button right here. We introduced just one new command, which says remove all components by type. And if you click on this command, you will see this new dialog here. And now you can select the type of components you want to remove from your assembly. And you can do this, for example, here for hydraulic and pneumatic components. You can say remove, and then all circuits are deleted. Yeah. So this is quite nice, as I said, in case you want to reuse an existing mold-based project and delete all of this stuff. Okay. Then I will go back to my presentation. The next feature that I would like to show you now is the automatic chamfer creation. The use case here, or the requirements, came up because customers said it's not enough just to create the cutouts itself. We also need to add chamfers to these parts, because if we give this model to an external manufacturer, they do not know what they should do with these chamfers. So they want to have a fully detailed model. And yes, in the past, the designers had to do it by themselves, or the EMX administrator needed to change all of the UDFs that I used, that the chamfers are automatically in there. But yeah, this was not a very satisfying situation, because it's a lot of effort to change the UDFs, and as you can imagine, it is a lot of effort to add all of these chamfers manually. And also, if you think of a model-based definition approach, it's obviously also important that you have a fully detailed model. You know, it's not enough just to, you would like to add full manufacturing information into the model and then there are chamfers missing. That's not a good situation. So we came up with a solution which works in a way that you can just click on a checkbox button here, which says add additional chamfers to edges. And in case you assemble the component, all of these chamfers will automatically create it. The size of the chamfers is controlled by a set of rules, which can also be managed in the configuration. And we also introduced last year this new parameter EMX surface function, and we also support this new parameter. So for example, if you use Smart Color to colorize all of your models, you will need a surface function parameter which tells Smart Color what kind of surface this is, and we also write this parameter based on the cylindrical surface where the chamfer is attached to. So if you see this on this right image here, you will see this is a counterbore surface, and we analyze this parameter and then write this information to the chamfer surface as well. So this is then a chamfer counterbore for counterbore surface. Okay, let me just show you this in Creo. I will also change my working directory to this one right here and open the assembly. So this functionality is now available for all different kinds of components. You see here, cooling component. You will have this function, add additional chamfer to edges, or also for ejector pins, add additional chamfers to edges. In this case, I will show it with an ejector pin. I will place an ejector pin right here. Okay, so you see this, the preview for the ejector pin, and I will select add additional chamfers to edges and simply say assemble. And all the cutouts will be created. Okay, and the ejectors will be assembled. Okay, and if I now go to and open one of the cutted parts, you will then see, okay, here we have holes. These are created by the ejector pin. And here is the UDF, which is the cutout for this ejector pin. And after that, we will add another group, which has these chamfers included. And the size of the chamfer is always created based on the diameter of this surface right here. Okay. The chamfers will not only be created in case it's a round cylindrical surface, in case, let me show you this, if I say modify and click on, for example, here, this rod fix, say okay, the cutouts will be recreated, and here we have a different shape, and the chamfer will also be created to this kind of edges. So any kind of edge basically works. Also, in case you have like not a flat surface, this will also be created. So we put some effort into this algorithm which analyzes the edges. Okay, so yeah, this is actually quite nice and can be very helpful. So how can I now administer these chamfer size? You can have a look to the options dialog, and here you will find a new section which is called chamfer size, and this is basically the table which can be changed. So in this case here, this asterisk indicates that all UDF names, all categories, and all suppliers for the unit millimeter between a lower boundary of 0 and 1.5 millimeters should have a chamfer size of 0.2 millimeters. And you can here be creative as you like. You can say for special UDFs, we need a different chamfer size, and you can set this up based on your company standards. Okay. Yeah, that's basically it for this In case you have any questions, you can always write the question into this chat panel, and then Sasha will ask the question directly. And yeah, I think that's quite, yeah, then I can answer the questions right away. Okay, so let's go back to this presentation. The next thing I would like to talk about is quite interesting. This is not a really new topic, but we try to come up with a new solution for this problem. So it happens a lot that companies have internal order numbers for the components that they are using, and these order numbers should be available in the bill of materials. And in the past, we already had the opportunity to add customer numbers to all of these components, but within the .dat files. And the problem here was that in case you did some customization on these files, you had to pull them out from the installation and put them into the EMX user config path. And the problem was that in case all of these files are pulled out from the standard installation, you will never receive any updates on these .dat files, because the custom configuration file always wins over the installation file. In case of an update and we added new types, or we added new, we fixed some issues, you will never have them. So these files were basically dead or frozen. And we said, okay, let's try another solution for this. So we introduced a new file which is called customer number CFG. And this customer number CFG file is, you can now, based on the instance name of a component, you can now set up these numbers. And you will have them managed all in one file. And in case you want to install an update, you don't have to do any manipulation on your own .dat files. So it is not required anymore. And I would like to show you how this works. For example, for this instance here, this cooling component, I will just switch to Creo and select this customer numbers folder, open the tutorial. Okay, where can I find this customer number file? So for this webinar, I just set up an EMX user config path. And this path I just added here on my desktop. This path contains now this configuration. So everything which is configured now is pulled out of the standard installation and added into this custom configuration path. So this path is now here in this example, I added it just to the desktop, but in the real life, it should be added to some web server, of course, that you can set up this EMX under user, under config, under path variable for all of your designers, and they will always point to this location. So this means they always have the same configuration available, and the configuration will not be overwritten in case you do updates. Even if you update from version 10 to 12, this configuration will still work. So, okay. Here you see this path, which is set up, EMX under user and a config path, and you have this open file button. So you will always come to this location. And in here, you see this new file customer number CFG. And in case you open this file in Notepad or in any other text editor, you will see you can simply list customer numbers for a certain component instance. So in this case, my component Moisburger Cooling E2000 under 9 under 10 will receive the customer number -123456789. Okay, so you can set this up for any kind of component. And now if you just assemble this component, go to cooling components, E2000, and let's say diameter 9, M10. So this is basically the component we are talking about. And you switch to BOM data, you will already see here, okay, customer number. This is the customer number that I just added. If I switch to another type, we have not set anything up for this instance right here. But for this, we have this customer number. And if I now just assemble this component, I assemble this component, and that is also important information I have to talk about. In case you have in your parameter settings, in case you have now, I just called it Kundennummer, which is German for customer number. If you have a parameter defined right here, and this parameter has this user number default value defined, the customer number will be written to this custom parameter. And if I now go to my bill of materials and I search for this component, E2000-9010, I have my parameter available, and this parameter, the customer number right here is also available. And now I can export this to Excel or whatever, or to a text file, and I have my internal number available. So this can be quite useful. Okay, in case you have any questions, just ask a question, or you can also contact us directly, then we can discuss this topic as well. Okay, then the next topic I would like to talk about today is how you can manage UDFs in the library. So I already talked about this EMX user under config under path, and a very nice tool of EMX is the EMX library. So usually you can add their parts and assemblies and manage them with .dat files, but you can also add UDFs to this library. And the typical use case would be in case you have a bunch of UDFs in your company already available that should be provided to all the designers, and you want to structure this UDF library a little bit, you can use the EMX library to achieve this. The only thing that you have to do is you have to set up EMX user custom path, and you have to work with the option library path. Okay, I will show you how this works for this runner surface UDF. So first of all, let's have a look to the options. With this library path option, you again have the opportunity to pull out the library path. Where do we have it? Right here, and set up a complete new library. So internally with the installation, there comes an internal EMX library. You can use these parts as a reference and also set up an own library. Okay, I just added this to this custom EMX configuration library folder. And if you have a look to this, you will see we only have this runner, and then the GPH file, some images that describe this UDF, and also the related .dat file, which tells us the variable dimensions and also the assembly references. And in here, it looks pretty similar to all the other .dat files. You will have these ASM refs, which is basically called here the curve, which is the reference within the UDF, and you also have these nominal values, which are the variable dimensions. Here it is important that if you record an UDF, you need this name. You have to set up the dimension names correctly in the UDF. Okay, so this, in case you record a feature, the dimension needs the name diameter in this example. And then you can set up a bunch of predefined instances. So like from diameter 3 to diameter 8, something like that. And this is quite nice. If I now open my part, or my demo assembly. I can now go to this part here, for example, and here I just added a curve, which is the required reference for this runner. Here I only see my runner and the image. I select this, I see my curve assembly reference, I select the reference, I select this one here of type diameter 6 and assemble it. And then the UDF is assembled in a way. And here you have the group with the round feature. Yeah. In my opinion, this can be very helpful and can help to structure the way how the designers work. Okay. Yeah, you can have a look to the standard library and also always use these existing components as a reference in case you want to implement something like that. Okay, so this is everything that I would like to show you within Creo. Now I would want to talk again about our tutorial. Last year we went through another cycle and we improved this tutorial a lot. What's new now within this tutorial is we have now a step-by-step walkthrough tutorial, and you really start from the Creo cavity assembly and to the finished mold base, which is basically the mold base that you see in the image on this right side. So we go through each chapter, and you can just click through the whole process. This obviously takes a lot of time. As you know, mold design is not like creating 2 features. It is a long queue of tasks that need to be done to have a full mold base available. And obviously, you cannot just do this in one day. And that's the reason why we provided downloadable models for each chapter. So you can really click on one chapter. In case you are interested in cooling, go to the cooling chapter and then you download the model for this chapter. And then you start in between and you can just go through these tasks and try to learn how it works. Also, we have additional background information, and in my opinion, this can be a great source of information, and especially in case you have new colleagues and you don't have the chance to find a trainer, maybe in your country or whatever, or at the moment there's no money for trainings, then you can just use this document as a first training. Where can you download this tutorial? First of all, you can download it on our website. You will find this tutorial in case you go to our website. Let me just start right here, and you search for tutorial. You will find this Expert Moldbase Extension 12 tutorial, and then you can download this PDF right here from our download server. Okay, so this takes a while to load, but I would like to show you how this works within the tutorial. No, it's finished. Okay, so you have these contents, and if you now go to a chapter which says to classify cavity insert assembly, you will see in the beginning, the first sentence says download, then the link to start from this chapter. And you can click on this link and you will be directly routed to our website, and here you see all these chapters, and it's really a lot of stuff. It's 53 chapters, and each chapter contains a full model where you can start from. And I think that's basically everything you need to get started with EMX. Okay, and the other thing is we also introduced, but only with the B&W license, this button right here, which basically says tutorial, and this opens the PDF, which is part of the installation. Okay, so you will find this PDF as well. So either way, you you will have the chance to find training material. Yeah, and of course this tutorial is completely free, so just use it and feel free to share it also with customers in case you're a reseller. This would also be quite nice. Okay, so that's basically it. If you have any questions, then you will have now the chance to write them into the chat window, and then Sasha will will tell me the questions, and I will hopefully be able to give you an answer.
We have two questions now at the moment. The first question is which files can I delete from my user config without hesitation? It means yes.
Okay, so if I got this right, you mean in case you have an existing components folder within your config path, and you would like to delete files. So basically it works like this. In case you add files to the custom components folder, and there is a file available in the custom configuration path, this file will override the file in the standard installation. And the important thing is that you really only have to add the files that are changed to this custom configuration folder, and the rest should come always from a standard installation. The biggest advantage is then that you really clean up your custom configuration path. You have a better overview of what you have changed. And in case you already have this components folder from some old configuration or something like that, you really should clean up this folder and only leave this stuff there which was customized, and the rest which is similar to standard or it's equal to standard should be deleted from this folder. And this is the best way to set up a custom configuration.
Okay, thank you. The second question, does automatic chamfer generation work when I use customized UDFs?
Okay, so yes, it works in some way. The algorithm will recognize edges which are on the boundary from the UDF to the outer surfaces. So these edges will be recognized, but sometimes it happens that you will also need to add chamfers to edges which are within the UDF. For example, in case if I go back to this here, this one is on the edge, and this one is on the boundary of the UDF, but this one here, for example, is within the UDF, and this here is recognized by a parameter which is already defined inside of the UDF. So in case you have a similar situation where you want to add a chamfer to an edge within your custom UDF, you have to change the UDF and you have to add a parameter to this edge within the UDF. But I think this is kind of complicated. In case you have a situation like that, the best way would be if you just contact us, and then we can talk about this and help you with the changes that need to be done to these UDFs.
Nice. Yes, this was all questions. Okay. We don't have more questions at the moment, so yes.
Okay. Okay, if there are no more questions, then I will just say thank you. But I would also like to tell you what kind of other webinars we have during this week. As you see, the first couple of in the morning time and German morning time, we always have the webinars in German language. But in the afternoon, we also have the webinars in English language. And tomorrow, you can have a look on some features of Smart Annotate and Smart Update. And on Thursday, the 29th, we focus a lot on this model-based definition approach. And yeah, I think this is it's a very interesting topic, and you will see how you can implement a model-based definition chain within your company. So, and how our tools can help you with this. Yeah, in case you are not you have not subscribed to our newsletter and you want to have information about what's going on at B&W, you can subscribe to our newsletter with this link here, and also on our website. What's also kind of important is our YouTube channel. We regularly provide videos about our tools on this channel. In case you have any more questions and about the topics of today or other what's new things, you can contact us directly. You see our email address on the bottom. And of course, we always provide demo licenses in case you would like to try any of our tools. So that's no problem at all. Yeah, as we said, this webinar will be recorded and you will receive an email with the recorded webinar. And after this webinar, we just added a quick survey with a couple of questions, and it would be great if you can just answer these questions. It's only a couple of questions, so it won't take much time, but it helps us a lot to know what we're doing right or wrong. And yeah, this would be great if you can attend to this survey. Okay, then thanks a lot, and hopefully you will also have a look to our other webinars, and I wish you a good day.
Thank you too, and goodbye.